Now on CBS 12 News this morning at 6, protests from coast to coast over the future of Roe v. Wade after an unprecedented Supreme Court leak.
We need to have compassion instead of regulating people's bodies.
The shock felt on both sides of the debate and what this means for millions of women here in Florida if the landmark decision is overturned.
The Delray Beach Police Department at odds with the city. The meeting planned for today and what this could mean for our local officers.
Plus, tracking a few storms off the coast this morning. We'll talk more about where we could see some rain onshore later today.
It's a new day. This is CBS 12 News This Morning.
I'm seeing a lot of lightning out in the distance on the drive into work and school today. Good morning, I'm Matt Lincoln.
And I'm Sam Kerrigan. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this Wednesday. We do want to check in with meteorologist Lauren Oleski. Lauren, I know we've got a chance for storms again this afternoon.
That's right. Now, the rain chance will be much lower tomorrow. So if you're not a fan of the rain, tomorrow looks better, although it's going to get hotter over the next few days. A lot of storms offshore, like Matt said. You might see some of that lightning if you were traveling eastbound this morning, but nothing right now is falling on the coast. But showers might approach the shoreline this morning. We've got really a better chance for some storms later. This is 3:30 later today. We could see that sea breeze activate and allow some storms to develop right along the Turnpike corridor later today. This is 5:15. At that point, a lot of that starts to push a little further inland. This is 7 later this evening. Rain kind of lingering across parts of southern Palm Beach County. We need this rainfall, so this is not a bad thing to see. Heavy downpours, frequent strikes of lightning, our biggest threats today. Tomorrow looks a little better. Again, we are a little drier for your Thursday, but we do get hotter as we move through the rest of this week. We'll take a closer look at that still ahead. Matt, Sam.
Thanks, Lauren. At 6:02 now, let's take a look at our roads. Vero Beach, Indian River County. We are not tracking any issues there on I-95 right now. Traffic Tracker 12 cruising along out here on I-95 in West Palm Beach. No crashes or delays as you head out the door.
Well, you are taking a live look right now at our nation's capital, where the unprecedented leak of a Supreme Court draft opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade is sending shockwaves all over the country this morning. Chief Justice John Roberts released a statement calling the leak a betrayal intended to undermine the integrity of our operations and ordering an investigation into the source of the leak. Roberts did confirm its authenticity, but added the opinion does not represent the final position of any member.
That draft sent protesters out to the streets from all corners of the country. You were looking at video of abortion rights protests in major cities from coast to coast. You can see packed streets from California all the way to the nation's capital and from Austin to the Big Apple.
And dozens of people gathering for a protest organized by Planned Parenthood outside the federal courthouse in downtown West Palm Beach. This was last night. The sign said, "Abortion right is a human right, no forced pregnancy." The crowd demanding that women should have control over their own bodies.
Every pregnancy is unique. Survivors of rape, incest, and human trafficking, that may be the last thing in their mind is going to find out if they're pregnant. And we need to have compassion instead of regulating people's bodies.
On the other side, pro-life activists say they have been waiting for a long time for the Supreme Court to reverse Roe v. Wade.
Still killing a baby. The baby inside your womb has no idea who the father is. If it was through rape, incest, or whatever, it's a human being.
Again, right now, nothing is final until the Supreme Court makes its decision in the summer. Meanwhile, more anti-abortion protests are in the works for the coming weeks.
We are keeping a close eye on what this could mean for millions of women in Florida if Roe v. Wade does in fact get overturned.
Yeah, right now we know abortions would still be legal up to 15 weeks under current state law.
A big reason why there's now a push from anti-abortion groups to put a so-called trigger ban into law to ban abortions immediately if Roe v. Wade were overturned.
And CBS 12's Jay O'Brien's looking into this from the live desk. Jay?
Yeah, good morning, Matt and Sam. This morning, a lot of states are trying to grapple with what abortion access would look like if Roe v. Wade were to be overturned. Remember, if the Supreme Court does away with Roe, the landmark case that gave women the right to an abortion, the power to regulate abortions would go back to the states. And there are a number of states, 18 of them, that have either banned abortion before that Roe decision in 1973. Those are the states in light red here. And then the states in dark red have so-called, look, Texas, Oklahoma, they have so-called trigger bans in effect. What that means is a law already on the books that would ban abortion if the Supreme Court were to go ahead and overturn Roe. It's sitting, waiting in the wings. Now, this morning, there are calls to add Florida to that list of states with trigger bans. Abortion rights groups are worried that the state could join that growing coalition of those who are already banning the procedure ahead of a possible Supreme Court ruling. Governor Ron DeSantis already getting pressure from some anti-abortion groups in the state to support a trigger ban. State Democrats saying yesterday they're worried that that could be put on the agenda when lawmakers return to Tallahassee at the end of the month for a special legislative session that's supposed to focus on Florida's property insurance crisis. Republicans control both the state House and the state Senate here in Florida, so if a trigger ban gets enough traction in that party, it would very likely pass. Now, when asked to weigh in on the abortion debate yesterday, Governor DeSantis noticeably did not go as far as to call for a statewide ban on abortion. Instead, here is a little of what he said.
If you look at the protections that I signed into law a couple weeks ago, those were the strongest that Florida has seen in decades. Our view is that those are fully consistent with the federal Constitution.
There, you hear the governor championing the state's new ban on abortions after 15 weeks, but not signaling as of right now that he's willing to go further than that. Here's one more point. For Florida, if the state holds on to its current abortion law, it will be one of the only states in the South with abortion access after 6 weeks, which is before many women know that they're pregnant. Let's look at Georgia. Georgia has a 6-week abortion ban that isn't active right now because of a federal court ruling, but it would likely snap back into place if Roe were to be overturned. And then you look at these other states in that region, Alabama, Mississippi, even Louisiana, that have those trigger bans or other abortion bans already in effect, ready to go if Roe gets overturned. So you might actually see a number of women, if Florida holds on to its current abortion laws, leave states in the South, come to Florida seeking abortions because it may, if Florida holds on to its current law, be their best option. That is not something that a lot of people, frankly, considered when they thought about this abortion debate in Florida, it being a refuge for women seeking abortions, but that very well could be the state's fate in the future.
You know, we know the governor doesn't usually drag his feet when it comes to issues that are popular with conservatives and Republicans. Do we have a feeling right now, or do we know how popular abortion bans are with Florida voters?
Well, in national polls, right, abortion polls somewhat in the majority, right? There was a recent poll about 54% of Americans did not support the court overturning Roe v. Wade. When you get to the state level, it gets a little bit harder. But there is a University of North Florida poll from February when the state passed that 15-week abortion ban, and about 57% of Floridians polled said they didn't support that measure. So you can only imagine what that number might look like if you look at a total ban, guys.
Yeah, certainly a divisive issue. We know you'll keep us updated, Jay.
All right, thank you, Jay, and stay with us here at CBS 12 News for continuing coverage on the Supreme Court and its decision on Roe v. Wade. You can download our app, CBS 12 News, to get push notifications sent right to your phone.
It is 6:08 right now, and this morning, Palm Beach County deputies are trying to figure out who shot and killed a teenager outside his home in Green Acres near John I. Leonard High School. We know this is the same teen who was shot last month. We first showed you this photo just weeks ago, where you can see someone pointing a gun at the teen in the parking lot of a medical center right across from the school. The teen's uncle tells CBS 12 News he is devastated.
I'm still in shock. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was healing, and now to hear this it's a complete shock. Got back home, he was doing better, trying to get himself together in his life. He just got his learner's permit.
Deputies have yet to release any information on a suspect. Right now, we still do not know the motive behind the shooting.
Well, this morning, a South Florida man is facing multiple charges after leading deputies on one of the longest and most dangerous police pursuits in recent history. Deputies say Richard St. Ledger reached speeds of nearly 200 miles per hour in a stolen car on the turnpike in Orange County near Orlando. He led authorities all the way through 6 counties before they caught up to him in Martin County. Deputies say the chase started when St. Ledger ignored several traffic stops. They were finally able to stop McCanner Highway in Stewart using stop sticks. The suspect then ran away after the car stopped. St. Ledger faces multiple charges, including grand theft of a motor vehicle. The other person in the car was also arrested.
6:10 now. After months of back and forth negotiations, representatives for the Delray Beach Police Department will once again sit down with the city to try and figure out a new contract.
Yeah, we first brought you this story last month when we learned that city officials and law enforcement have been struggling to reach a new deal for about 6 months.
CBS 12's Terry Hornstein is live with what's on the table. So, Terry, what's next here?
Hey, good morning. You know, these tensions growing for months here between the city and the Delray Beach Police Department. And I've spoken to some officers who say at this point they're just so frustrated they're ready to leave the department. But I also spoke to a source in the department who says they will meet once again today to try to hammer out a solution here. That source also told me that instead of meeting with the HR director who they've been butting heads with, they will instead meet with outside counsel at this point. There are really several issues at stake here, including salaries and pensions. Delray officers starting salaries significantly less than some of their neighbors. That's according to the Palm Beach County Police Benevolent Association, which is the union. We did speak to the union and the vice mayor of Delray Beach last month.
I don't know why Delray is a sticking point, all right? I don't know why they don't want to pay their police officers.
I know they risk their lives every day. So hopefully they can be a little patient. We can have some good dialogue and come up with an agreement.
So today, both sides hoping they meet somewhere in the middle, come up with some sort of deal here. Again, that deal, that agreement expired in October. So the meeting is set to take place at 2 this afternoon in Delray Beach. Of course, we'll keep you updated on what happens. Matt and Sam.
All right, Terry, thank you. 6:11 now this morning. We are learning Martin County deputies will soon be equipped with body cameras. It's all a part of a program county commissioners approved. The program looks to create safer communities, decrease civil litigation, increase officer safety, and reduce the number of false complaints. Indian River and St. Lucie County already have body cameras. Right now, Palm Beach County is testing a few different models. This could take as long as 6 months for the program to officially get started in Martin County.
It's 6:12 right now. The worsening car market combined with supply chain issues is making it more expensive for those looking to buy a car. In your Eye on Money, we're breaking down all the features that could be added to your bill and make your next car purchase more pricey.
And Panthers fans hyped for the first game of what they're hoping will be a long run to the Stanley Cup. We'll show you how it did not go their way in Sunrise.
Plus, Hurricane Preparedness Week. It's rolling into day 4 here at CBS 12 News. I'm meteorologist Zach Covey. Today we're focusing on saving you money, all by performing an insurance checkup. The steps you need to follow and the one thing many forget when applying for coverage. That's next.